Hi, Tim Sales here. In today's video, I'm going to talk about a comment that came in on one of the other videos that I had done. And he says, Tim Sales, you're at the top of the pyramid scheme. Of course it works for you. And then he continues, and this is what I'm going to cover. The fodder below you are having their profits siphoned up. All right. So what does siphoned up mean? Siphon means draw off or transfer over a period of time, especially illegally or unfairly. All right. So bottom line is he doesn't understand network marketing compensation, right? And neither do a lot of people, which is why I'm covering this. The media, Wall Street Journal, New York Times, I've seen it in Washington Post, I've seen it on ABC News, I've seen it on 60 Minutes. They all have this idea that's utterly false, and everybody believes it. When I say everybody, I'm talking about the general perception of it. And so, I'm going to show you what really it is. In the last video I did, I'm just going to touch on this real quick. So this is the last video. And because the person said you're at the top of the pyramid scheme, of course it works for you. It is the key thing here. And so this was me, and there was a day I was the only person in the company, the only one. And I didn't have anybody on my team. And so I don't know what he means when he says I'm at the top. Okay, so anytime you hear somebody quote a statistic, there's a guy named John Taylor, and the Federal Trade Commission even has this document on their website. Must be true, right? Well, it's not true. He just did a whole lot of writing, and it looked like he had a lot of data in it. And he talked about the decimal numbers and things like that. But he missed so much. So the idea that the people at the top 1% earners, if you just ask somebody and say, where are they located in the structure of the organization? They say, what do you mean? Just ask them that question. Of course they don't know what you mean. Because that person who is the number one producer could be 90 levels deep. That's what they don't know. They don't understand. That doesn't equate to them because they only gather the top earners and then say that they're at the top. They're not at the top. Okay, I have 32 people below me that make more money than me. They're not at the top. Okay, so I just needed to make sure that piece was really understood. Okay, because everybody gets the same number of levels deep. I just used 3 here because I'd run out of space. But they all get the same number of levels. And they have this idea, the general public has this idea that everybody below them, all of that volume flows up. And so therefore, that one person at the top, or 10 or whatever they want to say, is siphoning all the profits off of everybody down the line. And this guy must be the most evil of evil because he's scamming everybody in the world. That's not true at all. Okay? Everybody gets the same compensation plan. Everybody gets the same compensation plan. You can't get more fair than that. The only other kind of compensation plan there are is that, oh, you went to what school, son? Oh, my. Okay, so you get an extra amount of money. Or you're the father-in-law, you're the son-in-law of the owner of the company. Okay, and so he says, I'm going to insert you here. Okay, that's a different kind of management than I like. So either each level makes less money, which is the corporate structure. So the people down here, let's say, are the staff and employees. And then there's middle managers, and they make a little bit more money. And then there's the president or presidents, and they make more money. And then there's the CEO, and he makes more money. And then there's the shareholders. Okay, that's the way it works. And so I don't know a more fair structure than to say everybody gets the same compensation. And so if I have $50,000 of volume, If I have $50,000 of volume in my organization, then I make X. And if this person here has $75,000 of volume in that person's organization, they make more money than me, even though they're in my downline. And if that person has $250,000 of volume, they make more money than this person or this person. And so, as I said, I have over 30 people who are below me who make more money than me. Okay? So, we're paid on production and production only. They don't care about anything else. Production. And that's fair. Okay, so let me talk about this. Let me explain in the compensation plan how it works so that you can fully explain it to others or just send them this video. And what they don't understand. And even the person who writes this that gets onto the FTC website, and probably a lot of attorney generals don't understand it. Okay, I'm going to make this as simple as I can. So, in any company, let's say that this company is Nike, and Nike wants to sell tennis shoes. Okay, so they'll pay a few dollars for a tennis shoe and they'll sell them for a few hundred, right? And so in order to do that, then they have to get some celebrity to stand out there, right? And jump high. And so they pay $300 million to Kevin Durant out of their advertising budget. Pepsi will pay Beyonce $50 million for drinking the soda, okay? And so that is a business model. It's a proven business model. It works. You take out the celebrities and they have a harder time selling shoes, okay? And so they're going to come in at about 10 to 15% profit per year, spending the amount of money. And don't think for a second that that's the only one that Nike does, okay? Because they've got golf. They've got like a lot of things that they sell in the sports space. All right, so let me show you why it's very different in network marketing. So you've got this lady here, and she is selling a product to this gentleman, and this right here is the product. So the network marketing company says, okay, so this is what the wholesale price is and that she can buy it at that. And then they have a suggested retail price, but they're independent. They're independent. So they can mark it up to whatever they want to do it. But the recommended is, I would say an average is around 30% markup on a network marketing product. Okay. So this person purchases that product, and that distributor right there receives that 30% commission. Now, it looks like they're in person, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that way. They could order it off a website in that person's ID number and never physically hold it and receive that retail profit. It's so important to understand that none of this exchange right here is coming out of the advertising budget. That's not where it's coming out of. So just like Nike or Pepsi or anybody else, they all have an advertising budget. Otherwise, they couldn't put commercials on the Super Bowl. They couldn't have big banners or buy the time clock in a basketball stadium or something like that. So once you understand that and you separate that away, that person, okay, the rep earns that commission. Let's say that happens to be this girl right here, okay? I don't get any of that. Nothing. Okay. Now, the way the compensation plans work is that transaction goes down, and whatever the wholesale price of that product was, okay? So let's just say it's $100. the wholesale price. So the person who brought this lady in and to a greater or lesser degree trained is going to get a 15% commission out of the advertising budget, not out of that retail profit. Okay, so that's going to come from the advertising budget. And the person who brought that person in will get 10%. This is just made up, but it's an average of about what I see. Okay, and then the person that brought them in would get 5%. Okay, so the closer to the person who trained them, the higher the percentage. So that's the way the compensation plans work. So when you go back to this person's comment, and he says, the fodder below you are having their profits siphoned up. Now you can see that that's not true. And a typical network marketing company will drop between 8 to 14% profit to the bottom line. That's an average network marketing company. Okay, so if they're sloppy, they'll run 8% profit. If they're really a tight run organization, they'll run 13 or 14%, which is right in line with what a Nike would do. And so when I say it's not any different, I'm talking about that every company has to have an advertising budget. They have to get their name known. They have to get their product known. All right, it's the only way that they can ever get employees or to build a big structure, build a big organization. And I saw an interesting statistic, and it was out of the 28 million small businesses, missed a few zeros, of the small businesses in America, 26 million of those have 0 employees. Like astronomical, right? Crazy. When you think about that, those people are having a hard time because a person can't make millions or billions by themselves. They got to have a team. Okay? And so what that would mean is that they're not building enough, and I'm talking about the small businesses, they're not building enough to create an advertising budget so that they can get more customers and so that they can get more employees. Okay, so they're real small. And so just like the same way that a big company is going to do in network marketing, this is the way we come in, we partner with a network marketing company, and then we build a sales team. Okay, so that is the way that it works. And that volume, so we're paid an override. Okay? It's kind of like a word that's used in the industry, which means is it's not coming out of this person's commission. It is an extra bonus because you were the person who brought them to the company. Okay, so this gentleman's comment back here, the fodder below you are having the profits siphoned off, is utterly false. Okay, it is paid from an advertising budget that is an extra bonus for helping a person be able to sell better. Okay, so there it is. So that's the truth of it. So hopefully this clears up a lot of the confusion that's out there and why people have this perception that, number one, the people at the top make all the money, when I see it, like many levels deep, somebody is making more money than me, all right, a lot of times. So I hope that makes sense. And so comment down below. Let me know what you think. Did you have a realization here, or is it something that you've already known? Maybe you've learned something here where you can now go and explain that in a better way concerning that advertising budget as opposed to taking money out of that retail profit that the person earns. So comment down below, give me a thumbs up if you like it, and also you might consider subscribing to the channel.